Welcome, my name is Barney Reese. I'm the author of How Blessed You Are in God's Promises. Today I'm going to read you a bit more of it. We are on Your Joy, which is chapter 30 in the book, and this is part 10. In the meantime, Randy Rose, was nicknamed Scarface, had gotten very ill, and Melinda Rose had walked out into her front porch and broke both her legs, as she said, a freak accident. The buildings were going to Randy Rose and Melinda Rose by default, but by going bankrupt, my credit was being destroyed for a period of time. I do not believe in accidents and coincidence, but at the time, even though I did not know it, the creator of the universe, or Jesus, was taking care of me, and vengeance was theirs. I was seeing and starting to understand. My business was gone pretty much. I sold, I think, 2 more guns, and then I gave it up as well. But I had a girlfriend, and she later became my wife. I even had a son by her. We named him Kyle Skylar Reese, and I love him now. I wish I could say everything would be okay, but it was not. I moved back in with my mom after I was laid off. My girlfriend took one of the bedrooms. My brother and his girlfriend lived there as well. I also had to use my 401k to survive till I could find a job. My mom, my girlfriend, my brother's girlfriend, and my sister did not get along. I ended up working with my brother for a little bit, but after I bought a trailer, fixed a trailer, finished my truck on the job, and paid most of the expenses, he and his girlfriend decided I would just be a worker, and after my back started twitching from a bulging disc which I got while working at Bonanza when I was only 17 years old, he gave me $200 while he pocketed the rest. I told him goodbye, and that was our partnership. Meanwhile, my girlfriend would be gone all day. She was pregnant with my son Kyle, and after a fight with my mom, I left and went to live with their father and 2 girls. It was a 2-bedroom trailer, and I would sleep on a 1-bedroom while the 2 girls slept on the floor. But at least I was with my future wife, my possession, my property. I went to work for Rex TV in Plotts and had only worked there a few months, and the 2 salesmen in there were very unethical, to say the least. I would unload trucks, I would sell appliances and try to make enough, and I would get enough to fight both, and I would get ready to fight both the salesmen if needed by their unethical business practices. I remember leaving just after Christmas sales. After I had made a sale, and the abuse had got to the point that if I did not leave, I was going to probably hurt Jim and Sean severely. They had done things that they just do not do in sales, and we were supposed to be friends. They were scared to go to a party with me, afraid. Well, they may end up fighting me and my brother. I always lived by a code of honor, and if salespeople sells an item for more money than they are not supposed to, cut his throat. However, Sean and Jim would do this, so all I was trying to do was make money, and they would slander me, and all they could. I remember I sold a TV. I made a mistake. After only making 45 cents, I left and told the manager goodbye. I was done, and my wife expecting. I left Rex TV and appliance store. I realized I should have taken a baseball bat to both of them, and if I would have stayed, I probably would have too. Things happens for a reason, I guess. I went to work back on the T2 side at Navy Air Station as an aircraft washer in December, January, and February. Even after the coldest months of the year, I was sent to the office for my layoff. I was told to do my job and keep my mouth shut because I had not been called back. I had lost my seniority at my job. My wife was expecting, and I was told we can only promise you a day at a time, no guarantee. You will have a job tomorrow. I decided to leave there since my wife was due any day now, and we had gotten married in October of last year. I believed and I needed stability. I took the layoff and decided I would have to find something else to do. I went for about a month, and my wife Emily and her family tried to cheer me up. I was expecting my son. I did not have no job at all. I was staying with my father-in-law and his 2 daughters. After looking for a job and unable to draw one but unemployment check, I found a job at TV 2430 as a sales manager of a booth in the mall called For Sale by Owner Plus. And my wife, being pregnant, was happy for a short time. I had great bosses, Mark and Brenda Grossman, and I had a wife that loved me. I was able to get a job in an apartment for a family. I worked for about 8 months, and I was told by my sister to find another job quick because the ship was sinking fast. I was called by Sikorsky to go wash airplanes in October. I went back to the base. I washed airplanes. Understand, in the element, no indoor wash rack. Sometimes temperatures being way below 40 degrees. I was told after October, November, December, January, I was told by the supervisor that I could only promise you day by day. And with a baby on the way, I decided to leave and look for other employment. I was forced to live with my father-in-law, with his wife and his two daughters, in a two-bedroom room trailer. I went to work for Corporate Mart Plus near the end of March. I'd been off for over 2 months, and my wife was due any day now. I was so excited to have a job that I did not even want to take time off when her daughter broke. I only worked for a few months for Mr. Perry, but I went to work for the Ford place because I had better benefits for my son and family. My first 2 months, I only sold 2 cars, and I felt like a failure. I, however, got better. I decided I would go to the base, but only if I got to work for Boeing and the T-45 program, best for my family. The time seemed like it was passing fast. I had a son and I had a wife at last. I have a family, something I have always wanted. My mom had moved out to Ponte Hill with my brother and his wife in the trailer I had purchased for my mother. I decided to rent it to Byron and Sandra. The rent was only $300 a month plus bills. They agreed in the meantime I would continue to work and stay in the apartment. I also want to make a note. This is after I was laid off of Sikorsky. I went to work for Rex TV and also went to work for Mr. Perry. I later went to work for Ford Place. Then I got a place in October to go to work for Boeing with a T-45 program. I was going to be a plane captain again, or T-45 aircraft servicer. I had to throw my brother and his wife and 2 kids out of my trailer. I was behind in rent, and I decided to take the payments over before I lost the place. I actually had to get an eviction notice to get them out. This was just before I went back to the Navy Air Station as a T-45 plane captain for Boeing. My wife did not want to leave the apartment, but she finally agreed. We had Kyle, we married, we were a family. My sister and me had to clean the trailer up. It was a 16 by 90 and the carpet was run, the food broken, glass, and since I still had my 98 Dodge Ram, she had her husband's truck. We went to work. It took us over a week to clean it up. I went and brought some carpet at Carpet Mart Plus. I will come back to that in just a brief moment. Let's recap how I got this far. So in the end, I was laid off 3 times before Sikorsky quit at Rex TV. I had a split with my brother and spent all my savings trying to work after I had left Rex TV. We were going to go into the roofing business, and together, so I bought a trailer and using my truck, we went to North Carolina, my expense to find work. He agreed to split the profits 50-50. Of course, after he did a job, he said he could not. I told him goodbye. Besides that, my back would not take it anymore. I later left with my pregnant wife and left my mom's trailer and went to live with my father-in-law with his 2 daughters. I was laid off in October 2004, and I went to work for Rex TV. I had quit my job at Rex TV. I had spent my savings trying to work with my brother. Actually, it was in 99, but anyway. I later went to work for Sikorsky Owner Plus as a sales manager in a booth in a mall. I later went to work for Sikorsky for the last time after I was laid off again while my wife was pregnant. I also bought into the office and told they could only promise me a day by day with a wife expecting shortly. I left, and that's when I later went back to work for Mr. Perry at Carpet Mart Plus. I was still living with Emily's dad, but I had, with the help of my big sister Susan, I had gotten me a low-rent apartment. With my wife expecting any day now, I actually learned a lot while working for Mr. Perry at Carpet Mart Plus. He was a pilot, he was a businessman, and I was happy with my apartment and my beautiful wife. I could not provide for my family. We had on April 12, 2000, Kyle Skylar Reese. I was happy, but I had decided to go sell cars in New York Ford. At least I would have benefits. I did this for about 6 months before I left, and I sold 14 half units in less than 2 weeks. But I decided to go to work for Boeing. Better benefits. We had moved to Ponte Hill. I had sold my truck while at the Ford place so I could pay for Emily's Toyota Corolla since she was not working. I later went to work for Boeing, and while I was there, I met Mr. Mack, who told me about a piece of property by him in Tuamasuba, which her father lived on, and we could help each other. Well, my son was probably 2 or 3 years old, and I thought that might be a great way for a granddad to be bond. Well, I guess you're having problems. So I bought another truck, a Tacoma. But we were looking at the Ford place, so I bought my wife a light green van, Windstar van.